They told him it was too late, that at 75 reversing type 2 diabetes was impossible, but science and one bold decision proved them wrong. I've been a doctor for over 30 years, and in that time I've met hundreds of patients in their 70s and beyond who walked into my office believing one thing: once you have type 2 diabetes, you're stuck with it for life. Daily medications, constant blood sugar checks, fear. With every meal, that's the routine they settle into. But here's what I need you to know. That belief is outdated. In fact, cutting-edge research from institutions like the Cleveland Clinic and Harvard Medical School is now showing that type 2 diabetes can be reversed even at 75. I've seen it happen. I've guided patients who, with the right changes, walked away from insulin needles and daily pills, many for the first time in decades. In today's video, I'll walk you through what truly works: the foods, the timing, the science, and the quiet power of one consistent habit that most doctors don't talk about. If you're over 50 and tired of feeling like a prisoner to your blood sugar, this might be the most important message you hear all year. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below if something in this video speaks to you, because this channel is here for you, and your health is your greatest wealth. The truth about type 2 diabetes in seniors. Type 2 diabetes is not a life sentence, but for millions of older adults, it feels like one. You wake up, check your blood sugar, take your pills, watch what you eat every single day like clockwork. And despite all the effort, you're still told it's progressive. It'll only get worse. That belief that diabetes is a one-way road is not just outdated, it's dangerous. New research is changing everything we thought we knew. According to studies from Harvard Medical School and the Mayo Clinic, nearly 70% of older adults with type 2 diabetes can achieve dramatic improvement or even remission with the right lifestyle changes. Yes, even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s. The key isn't age, it's cellular flexibility, the ability of your body to respond to insulin and manage blood sugar naturally. What most people don't realize is that type 2 diabetes is not caused by sugar alone. It's a metabolic overload. Years of processed foods, inactivity, and chronic stress wear down the system, not overnight, but slowly like rust. Insulin stops working properly, blood sugar climbs, and the cycle continues. And here's the truth: this process can be slowed, stopped, and in many cases reversed. Not with gimmicks, with real science-backed strategies that treat the root cause. Let me tell you a story that changed how I talk to my patients. Frank was 76 when he first came to see me. A retired mechanic, tough as nails but visibly tired. He was on 3 medications for diabetes, 2 for blood pressure and 1 for cholesterol. Every morning he checked his sugar, hoping for a good number. Most mornings it wasn't. He told me, "Doc, I feel like I'm just managing decline, like I'm supposed to just accept it." But he wasn't broken. His body was just overwhelmed, and no one had ever shown him a way out. We started small. No crash diets, no unrealistic workouts. Just a clear plan: cut out refined carbs, add more vegetables and healthy fats, walk 15 minutes twice a day, and eat dinner earlier. Within 6 weeks, his fasting glucose dropped by 30 points. Within 3 months, his doctor began tapering his medications. At 6 months, he was off insulin completely with his A1C in the normal range. His words: "I got my life back." What happened with Frank wasn't magic. It was science applied correctly without giving up, even at 76. And here's what matters: your body still listens even when it's older. It still adapts. It still wants balance. The question is whether we give it the right tools or just more medication. Most people don't know this because the conversation around type 2 diabetes has been dominated by fear and resignation. But evidence from major studies, including the DIRECT trial in the UK and research published in The Lancet, shows that reversal is not only possible, it's happening more and more even in seniors. Not through miracle cures, but through consistent guided changes in food movement and mindset. Type 2 diabetes is real, but so is your power to fight it. You are not too old, you are not too late. You just need the right map and the belief that your body is still on your side. Part 2, Trustarashin, the 3 keys to reversing diabetes after 70. Most people think that fighting diabetes after 70 is about taking more medications or giving up sugar. But the truth is, there are 3 powerful shifts that can retrain your body to manage blood sugar naturally, without extremes, without gimmicks, and without giving up your quality of life. First, let's talk about food, not just what to avoid, but what to include. Most diets for diabetics focus on cutting sugar, which is important, but not enough. What truly matters is replacing harmful carbs with healing foods that lower inflammation and support insulin sensitivity. Refined grains, white bread, and sugary snacks spike your blood sugar quickly and crash your energy even faster. But when you choose foods rich in fiber, plant protein, and healthy fats, your blood sugar starts to stabilize. Studies from the American Diabetes Association have shown that eating lentils, dark leafy greens, fatty fish like salmon, cinnamon, and chia seeds can significantly lower A1C levels in older adults. These foods don't just fill you up, they feed your cells the nutrients they need to heal. I often tell my patients, imagine each meal as a prescription. Would you rather take another pill or eat something that works like medicine from the inside out? Now let's talk about timing, because when you eat is almost as important as what you eat. Many seniors graze all day without realizing that constant eating never gives your body a chance to reset. That's where light intermittent fasting comes in. And no, I'm not talking about skipping meals for days. I'm talking about a gentle eating window, like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., that gives your metabolism time to rest, repair, and use insulin more efficiently. A clinical trial published in Cell Metabolism found that limiting eating to an 8-10 hour window improved blood sugar control, lowered insulin resistance, and even reduced belly fat, all without counting calories. For older adults, that's a game changer. It's not about starving. It's about giving your body a rhythm it can thrive on. And of course, this should always be done with your doctor's guidance, especially if you're on medication. And finally, movement. Not heavy exercise, not gym memberships. Just simple, intentional movement every day. Your muscles are the largest consumers of glucose in your body. When they move, they pull sugar from the bloodstream, giving your pancreas a break. Even a 15-minute walk after each meal can lower post-meal blood sugar by up to 30%, according to research from the University of Otago. I'll never forget my patient named Elaine. She was 73, recently retired, and struggling with fatigue, weight gain, and rising glucose levels. We started with 3 simple changes: a morning smoothie with chia seeds and spinach, a new rule to finish dinner by 6 p.m., and short walks after lunch. She didn't do anything extreme. She didn't buy fancy supplements, but she committed to those habits every day. After 3 months, her blood sugar readings were down. At 6 months, her doctor reduced her medication. But the best part, she told me, I feel like I have control again, for the first time in years. That's what this is really about, not just numbers, but getting your life back. Feeling strong again, clear-headed, energized, independent. And it all starts with 3 choices: what you eat, when you eat, and how you move. The tools are already in your hands. You just need to know how to use them. Part 3. The inspiring story of Harold, reversing diabetes at 76. Harold was 76 when he came to me, tired, skeptical, and more than a little frustrated. He had lived with type 2 diabetes for over a decade. Every morning started the same: a blood sugar check, a handful of pills, and a self-injection of insulin. He hated the routine, not just because it was painful or inconvenient, but because it reminded him every single day that his body was failing. He once told me, "It feels like I'm living on borrowed time." He'd given up on the idea that life could feel vibrant again. Harold wasn't lazy. He wasn't reckless. He followed every order from his previous doctors, took his meds, watched his diet, at least what he thought was healthy, and tried to stay active. But his numbers didn't improve. And every time he went for a checkup, they either increased his dosage or added something new. He felt like he was managing a slow decline, not working toward any real change. That's when he asked the question I hear more often than you'd expect: "Doctor, is this really the best I can hope for?" I told him the truth: no guarantees. But growing research like the DIRECT study from the UK and recent data published in The Lancet was showing that lifestyle interventions could actually reverse type 2 diabetes, in many cases, even in people his age. The key was commitment, consistency, and letting go of the belief that it's too late. We built a plan tailored to him, not a crash diet, not an extreme workout program, but something sustainable. He swapped out his daily toast and jam for oatmeal with chia seeds and cinnamon. He learned to love spinach sautéed with olive oil and garlic. He stopped eating after 6:30 p.m. and took slow walks after every meal. We monitored everything, gradually adjusting his meds as his numbers improved. The change wasn't immediate, but it was steady. At 1-month check-in, his fasting glucose dropped nearly 20 points. By month 3, he was off 2 medications. And by the 6-month mark, something remarkable happened. His labs came back, and for the first time in 12 years, his A1C was in the normal range. His energy was back, He'd lost weight, his blood pressure improved, and he was no longer injecting insulin. I remember the look on his face when I told him he no longer needed it, just regular monitoring and continued lifestyle support. I feel like I've been handed another life, he told me, one I didn't think I'd get to live. This story isn't rare because it's impossible. It's rare because so few older adults are told that it's still possible. Harold didn't reverse his diabetes with willpower alone. He did it with knowledge support and a belief that change could still happen even at 76. His body didn't give up on him. It was just waiting for the right environment to heal. If you're listening to this and thinking, that could never be me, I want you to remember Harold. He was tired, he was frustrated, but he didn't stop trying. And because of that, he got his freedom back, not just from medications, but from the fear that nothing could ever get better. It's not about being perfect. It's about starting where you are and trusting that your body even now is capable of more than you think. Before we wrap up, there's something important we need to talk about. Because while the idea of reversing type 2 diabetes is powerful, it's also widely misunderstood and sometimes dangerously misapplied. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen, especially after people watch videos or read articles about curing diabetes, is this: they stop taking their medication on their own. They throw away their insulin, they skip their pills, they assume that because they're eating healthier and walking more, they no longer need medical supervision. Let me be clear, that's not how this works. Your body doesn't heal overnight, and just because your blood sugar improves doesn't mean your pancreas or liver is fully recovered. Every change, every reduction in medication must be done under the guidance of a doctor who is tracking your labs and vitals. In fact, some medications must be tapered slowly to avoid dangerous crashes in blood sugar or blood pressure. This isn't about going off meds. It's about working with your doctor to gradually reduce the need for them, safely, steadily, and strategically. Now let's talk about something even more damaging than misinformation, a mindset that stops people from even trying. I can't count how many times I've heard patients say, "I'm too old to change now," or "At my age, why bother?" They say it with a shrug, like they've already accepted that their best days are behind them. But that belief that change only belongs to the young is one of the most toxic lies we've been told. Let me tell you about Shirley. She was 82, living alone, and had been on diabetes medications for nearly 15 years. Her eyesight was getting worse. She was tired all the time. She told me, "I know it's downhill from here. I'm just trying to make it easier." But something in her voice said otherwise. There was still a spark of hope. So I asked her a question. What if it could get better? She didn't believe me at first, but she agreed to try. Not a miracle cure, just small changes: more fiber, fewer refined carbs, 10-minute walks around her apartment building, and learning how to breathe deeply when she felt stressed. 3 months later, her blood sugar was lower than it had been in years. Her energy was up. She was sleeping better. Her doctor reduced her meds, and she called me one day and said, "I feel like I woke up from something I didn't even know I was in." She didn't reverse her diabetes overnight, but she changed the direction of her life, and she did it at 82. It's never too late unless you decide it is. So if you're watching this and thinking, "What's the point?" Let me tell you, the point is you. The point is living the rest of your life with energy, independence, and hope. Not settling for survival, but reclaiming your vitality no matter your age. Change doesn't start with perfection. It starts with a choice. And the moment you decide that you're worth the effort, everything else begins to follow. Being 75 doesn't mean giving up. It could be the moment everything changes, the moment you stop surviving and start truly living. Imagine waking up without dread, eating without fear, walking without pain. Not because of some miracle drug, but because you chose to take your health back. Reversing type 2 diabetes isn't magic. It's science. It's consistency. It's the quiet courage to believe that your body even now still listens, still heals. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. Whether you're 65, 70, or 85, your future is not written in stone. Every small decision you make today, every step, every bite, every breath, can lead you back to energy, strength, and independence. So take that first step. Reclaim your rhythm. Redefine what aging looks like. And remember, it's never too late to choose life on your terms. If this helped you, don't forget to subscribe. Your health is your greatest wealth.